Well, good morning, everyone. I'm David Paul. I'm the Managing Director of Vectorvest in the UK. As you know, markets have been selling off and selling off with some gusto over the last few days with no real bottom in sight as yet. And not really a surprise because the trends on Vectorvest have been pretty much down all year. And I'll show you the American market in a second, where the longer-term trend of the US market has been down, in fact, since last November. That's the advice on the front page of Vectorvest going into the trading day. The short-term trend is down. The underlying trend is down, and the longest-term measure of the trend, which we refer to as a confirmed down, it has been down for the last 2 months. And the little traffic light at the top reflects the direction and the momentum of the short-term trend. And as you can see, the pointer's right in the red, and Vectorvest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. Let's sit this out, folks. There's going to be some great opportunities. Those of you that are more aggressive can take some trades on the short side. I shorted the S&P yesterday a little bit on a 30-minute chart for some cash. But in terms of buying stocks, that's sitting in our hands. There'll be opportunities ahead. We may have to wait a couple of months. We could even have to wait into October before they appear. Short-term traders will probably be able to trade bounces well before then. That's the Vectorvest composite, ladies and gentlemen, since COVID. And I've marked all the long-term buy and sell signals. That was a really good signal before the COVID collapse, and we enjoyed this incredible 2-year run here as central banks pump money into the system with momentum that I'd never ever seen before. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of last year, the market fell through the ice and has largely been trending down ever since. So we can look for levels here. And both in the UK market and in the American market, we probably got a little bit further to go. So a bit more bloodletting to go. That's the US market. That's over the last 9 months. And that's a pretty good sell signal from the American market last November. And apart from 10 days, that signal has been down ever since. So there's been plenty of warning. All we have to do is to get ourselves to a point where we can just do what it tells us to do. I've got 3 stocks. First of all, it's a coal stock. The price of coal has never been higher. And the Bloomberg report that there's more coal being used in the world than ever before, most of that in China. But this is Thungela. It's the old coal assets of Anglo, which were listed separately last September, and the share price has run enormously. I have to reveal that I am a shareholder, but recently it's gone sideways in this range. I was positive it was going to break here, but it came back with the sell-off in the world. It's made a little double bottom here. It's on a buy recommendation. And ladies and gentlemen, a double bottom which follows a strong move up the page. If it breaks, that should be a very tradable move. On a buy recommendation, Vectorvest does not advocate buying stocks at this time, but through those highs, this should move strongly indeed. It's already come back and flushed out a great deal of stops here, raised a great deal of liquidity, has it a couple of good days up. So I remain very positive about Thungela, and I'm looking to add to that position if it breaks. Now this is Serica. Serica is a gas play, as you probably all know, significantly undervalued in Vectorvest. It came back, and it came back very strongly because of the government's windfall tax, but they seem to have got around that very nicely with their development plans, and they've convinced the market of that. It's moved up very strongly. It's broken through that downsloping trend line. Earnings per share is growing strongly. It's still on a hold recommendation on Vectorvest, so wait for that to move to a buy recommendation, but that looks as if it's a really good high probability swing trade that's in process. And the last one is food related. We're Anglo-Eastern plantations own plantations in Southeast Asia, Indonesia. Significantly undervalued in Vector Vest, and as you can see, earnings per share growing strongly indeed. It's trending and it hasn't broken that trend. And it's been on a buy recommendation for quite a while. I would leave it until the general market bottoms out. And I would like to see it break that little down-sloping trend line that I've drawn on the chart. But the proposition looks very good indeed for further gains. So those are three stocks, one in coal, one in gas, and one associated with food, that I think have got a great deal of merit over the next few weeks. I'm still, the last time I was on here, I talked about Cape Tech. I still like the look of Cape Tech. And Airtel Africa has come off with the general market, but I'm still holding both of those, and I feel quite positive about them. So, ladies and gentlemen, do your best to sit in your hands, wait for this little bout of bad weather to clear up, then I think there'll be some great bargains around. That may take a few months. So you want to try VectorVest, vectorvest.co.uk. Go along, take a trial. It's £5.95 for a 30-day trial. That includes all our training and all my backup webcasts. Thanks very much. Have a great weekend.